Good evening, everybody. Hope you've had a wonderful start to your week. Mine was a little bit on the rocky side of things. Uh, we'll review the ES today. Today's date, October 10th, 2022. Let's see. So today, A period, we opened up in the lower distribution. Remember what I was saying? Lower distribution was from 36, 66, 75 where the single print started to M's low, Friday's low at 36, 32.50. We opened up in that distribution at near the top of it as we opened up at 36.63. At the time, the overnight high was right around that. The overnight high had gotten into the single prints by just a hair. Overnight high was at 36.67.50. So just a hair into it. So after we had opened up, market pushed up, attempted to test into the single prints, but did not get much acceleration. Um, let's see. As we were pushing up, found some sellers, found some supply, and then we just drove straight down in A period. It was kind of a relentless sell-off from the open down below. It just kind of buttered on down through. I took a few trades in A. Those are probably my most profitable trades in the day. B period, we opened up near the low, rotated down, and then ended up closing inside of A. C period, we did the same thing. Opened up inside of B. We rotated lower, attempted to have single print. So the close of C period was at 25. B's low was at 32.50. So we had an attempt at some single prints, not a large set, pretty small. But D period opened up and then filled those single prints. E period, pop D's high. At the time, we were 1, 2, 3, 4 wide here at B's low. So point of control was at B's low. Value was overlapping the lower at the time, hadn't gone completely lower. And then after that, F period opened up, rotated lower. We broke down through the lows of the day. I was actually taking longs in F period. I'll review those longs. And then we attempted to have single prints again in F period and then failed. We attempted to have single prints again in G period and failed as H filled those. So 3 different times in C, in F, and in G, we attempted to have single prints, have an intraday gap, but they did not hold as short-term traders were getting out of their long or their shorts and bids were coming in. We tested the 3600 level. We found a pretty vicious bounce off of that. There was a pretty healthy bounce. That's what we came down. As you can tell, we opened right where G had closed at 3606.50. We had pushed down to that 3600 level, and they were talking in the chat, and I was short at the time, and I was looking for the low day from the 30th of September. But we just didn't quite get there as that 3600 level. There was a substantial amount of people who wanted to get out of their shorts and a large bid order that hit the market, which drove us straight up and filled that set of single prints in G. And then I period just ripped shorts apart, man. That was a pretty brutal. I mean, the range of I period was 35 points. So a lot of shorts got absolutely smacked in I period. You could call I an afternoon rally high. I'm not going to. I'm done calling things afternoon rally highs or afternoon pullback lows unless they are true to the meaning, with single prints above or below. And the fact that we failed to hold trend at any point in time in the day, I just don't believe that this will even hold coming in tomorrow. So after that, it was just a chop fest. We get 10 for 10 wide. J, K, L, and M, 10 for 10 wide right above Friday's low at 32.50. POC is at 33.25, so just right above. We have some point of control where price just is happy doing business there. Maybe we got some long-term people stepping in, see this thing rotate back up, take out today's high and put the daily back into balance before some of this economic data comes out on Wednesday and Thursday. We got the PPI and CPI as well as a few earnings coming out. So maybe that's all we're going to do. We're just going to have some consolidation before some of that information comes out and then causes us to push in one direction or the other. If we come into tomorrow, we'll take out the low, then I expect we'll set a new yearly low, but I don't know. After today's action, I don't think the market wants to push any lower. As of right now, I wouldn't be surprised to see us to take out today's high, fill the single prints, and then battle inside the upper distribution from Friday. So as far as my trades go, like I said, I took a few trades in A period. I got short against the set of single prints above in the top of the lower distribution. I was short at 63.50, so just right above the open is where I was short at. And as we pulled in, I had a 2-lot on. As we pulled in, I got out around 59 because I didn't know how much of a move they pulling to come in. So I got out right around 59. And then we ended up pushing, a lot lower. That move from the top, from the high to the bottom was 27 points, and I had only captured a few points out of it. But I was happy to take some profits off of it. I took a long in A period after we pushed down against the low, so I got long. I was long a 2-lot there, and I got out. I was long around 40. Actually, before we set this low, I was long right around 46.50, and as we pushed up, I got out 50 and then 52.50 and 53. I went long again as we pushed down. I got long after we pushed down, made a new low in A period. We pulled back up. I got long right around because we had bounced pretty good, and I was like, all right, well maybe we'll go see a little higher price. So I got long around 50, and then I got out. At 60 because at the time it was just right before the open, so I figured maybe I front run the open, try to get out. So I got out on a quick bounce up, and then obviously we closed lower in A period. B period, it took a long against the low of day from Friday, not thinking that we'd take it out as volume was pretty low and we were one, but sellers did have a few things in their favor now. They were overlapping to lower in value. One time frame it down now, but I still felt like we weren't going to take it out, so I went long. And my target at the time was to get to the after hours VWAP. So I got in around on a pushback up. I got in around 37 and 40. And my idea was just to get to where the after hours VWAP was at the time, which was right around 44. So I got out of my trades at 35 or 30, 43.50 and 44. It was a good trade. Got a couple points out of that. So that was a good trade on my part. Taking the long in B, clearly could have held on and gotten a little bit more out of it. But I was happy to get what I got. Now this is where things kind of started to hit the fan for me. I started to take longs in F period against the day's low. Wasn't expecting to go trend as we couldn't hold trend in C period. So as we were pulling back, I felt comfortable buying against E's low and in D's low against D's low. But as we kept pushing on back down lower and lower, I added a few more. I got as big as a 6-lot in my account. I had 6 on. I was looking to get back to POC, which would have been at the time at E's low. We would have moved POC lower. And then POC above that to get 6 wide because we were only 5 wide at the time. To get 6 wide would have been 33.25. So risk reward was good in my opinion. But we just kept on pushing lower. And so I got out of my trade for a pretty hefty loss. which I was not pretty happy about. And then I decided to take a short because I waited in G period. Actually, I took a short in G period, took one short, and had the opportunity to take some profit, so I did. I got out with like a 2-point gain. I got short in G. After we had filled the single prints, because we had single prints from 16 or 36.16 to 36.13.25. We popped up, filled the single prints, and I took a short just to against that fill, see if they backed off, and they did, and I got out for like 2 points. And then H period, after G had created a lower low on the day, H period, we had some single prints to lean against. We were one time framing down at the time. Value is no longer overlapping the lower, but we are completely lower since making that new low on the day. And there's the close. So we get lower, H period. I took a short right after we opened and pushed down. I was short at 605.25. We pushed down lower. I could have got out for a couple point gain, but my idea was to get that low of day. I wasn't expecting 3600 to be a big deal until somebody kind of seen a bid stacking up there, and I should have gotten out, but I wasn't. I was kind of expecting us to kind of just chew through it and then push lower, but I was incorrect as we popped up pretty heavy, filled a set of single prints, and then I just stayed in my trade. Kind of stupidly stayed in my trade. I was kind of thinking, all right, maybe we'll just defend the one-time framing down. But you could kind of tell that the market was getting short and I was being stubborn. And whenever those two things happen, tend to get hurt pretty bad, as well as anybody else that was thinking the same thing as me. So I period, I'm still in my short. I period pushes up near G's high. I add another 2 lot on, so now I'm short another 5 lot, and then boom, big middle finger to you and any other short that was in it. So as we pushed up, I got out about 25s. Was at the time, I think VWAP was right around. No, not VWAP. The 144 at the time was right around 19. So I waited till to see what we were going to do once we got to that. So the 144 simple moving average on the 1 minute chart, we had gotten above it, and then that's when I decided to get out of my short. And then this thing just kind of rocketed on up to the highs. Like I said, pretty big move, 35-point move, and then I didn't do anything for the rest of the day, as we clearly just chopped in this range back and forth. So as far as destinations go, the daily is one time framing down now. The weekly is still one time framing down as well. And the monthly is, oh no, the weekly is balanced. The monthly is one time framing down. The daily one time framing down 2 days in a row now. I'll show you more about that here in a second. But as far as destinations go, downside destinations, today's low day at 3,600, big level. We get below that, we'll visit the yearly low at 35.9650, and then that low day from December 21st of 2020 at 35.96. Upside destinations, since we closed down here at 23.25, upside destination now is the 10 wide POC at 36.33.25. So if we open up in today's range, near the lows, you can expect us to rotate back up to this 10 wide POC. You can call I an afternoon rally high if you'd like. I'm not going to. And then you have today's high at 36.65.50, and then above that the single prints 36.66.75, and where they fill at 36.70.75. Above that, you don't have anything until the day's high, and then the gap fill. So I kind of suspect we'll put this market into a balance. Let's go ahead and look at the daily here. Actually, start with the monthly. Monthly, one time framing down. Monthly is continue the 1 time framing down as we took out last month's low. Monthly is 1 time framing down. The weekly is in balance as we took out last week we took out the previous week's low. So this week, if we take out last week's low at the yearly low, that's also including the overnight. But if we take out last week's overnight low and yearly low, the weekly will be 1 time framing down, but we are in a 3-week balance. And then the daily with all my moving averages. The daily is 1 time framing down 2 days in a row now. Looking for the low. So we'll see what happens. Maybe tomorrow we come in, we take out today's high, we push up into the 9 moving average, and then maybe get above that to go and test the 20 and fill the gap. But we'll see what happens once that economic data comes out, PPI, CPI, and earnings. I would not be surprised to see a massive chop fest and the daily just kind of remain imbalanced throughout the remainder of the week. And then we'll get our decision sometime Friday. So all that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon. Don't trade like me. Put your stops in and get out of the trade if you don't think it's right. All right, see you guys.